Advertisement 08602479 0605842250. And after that type of incident, when you're with someone, you can't now, when you reach your destination, because I was coming and say, man, let's go via my place or what.
Nah, none of that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, it is 3:30. It is time for the headlines.
SABC News. Independent and impartial.
On Radio 2000, I am Ondelambana. Acting Public Protector Koleka Galega has been given 7 days to respond to the demands of opposition parties for the release of the Phala report, among others. Eskom has warned that Stage 2 rolling blackouts are expected next week, dropping from Stage 3 that is being implemented this weekend. And one of the first police officers to arrive at the house where star goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa was shot has told the High Court in Pretoria that they did not find any bullet on the kitchen counter when they investigated the scene. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Let us kick it off with this, where all English, Welsh, Scottish and Northern Irish football has been postponed this weekend as a mark of respect following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Now, 10 English Premier League and 6 Scottish Premiership fixtures were actually scheduled for this weekend. Now, today's play at golf's PGA Championship has been called off, along with all British horse racing and the cricket tests there between England and South Africa. Now, British horse racing will return on Sunday, with the Rugby Union's Premiership season beginning on Saturday, after 2 fixtures penned for today were postponed. Now, the government's national mourning guidance advised that cancelling fixtures was not an obligation, leaving the decision to individual sports. When it comes to cricket, it is unclear whether England's cricket test against South Africa will actually resume at all, and whether tomorrow's play at golf's PGA Championship will go ahead. When it comes to rugby, the Rugby Union's Premiership match between Bristol and Bath has been moved to tomorrow, while Sale and Northampton will not take place today and is yet to be rearranged. Other Premiership matches on Saturday and Sunday will go ahead as scheduled. When it comes to motorsports news, Formula One held a minute's silence with all teams prior to practice for the Italian Grand Prix, with the race weekend proceeding as planned. In tennis, out in New York, in the US Open, there was a moment of silence there before the first women's semi-final match yesterday, with the first men's semi-finals today. Let's move on now to rugby news here in South Africa. In a mixed morning for African teams, Kenya ensured that there should be 2 representatives in the round of 16 at the Rugby World Cup Sevens today, when they actually beat Tonga 19-0 in their opening game at the Cape Town Stadium. Now, earlier, Zimbabwe and Uganda bowed out of qualifying in their round there after both actually lost their matches in the early morning action. Zimbabwe went down 33-7 to Canada in the second game of the day, while Uganda went down by the same score margin to Samoa. Zimbabwe and Uganda will progress to the bowl competitions tomorrow, with candidates still to be named. The Blitzboks will actually take on Chile at 3 minutes past 7. And when it comes to the fixtures at 15:39, which is in a couple of minutes, the United States will take on Samoa, with New Zealand taking on Scotland at 4:01. Then at 23 minutes past 4, Argentina will play Kenya, with Australia playing against Uruguay at 4:45. And then at 6:05, it is Wales and Fiji, with the Blitzboks closing up the day there at 3 minutes past 7. And still on other news there, Kaizer Chiefs, they actually appeared before the Premiership's disciplinary committee on charges of pitch invasion by their supporters, as well as the delay of a match against Stellenbosch FC at the Dani Craven Stadium last month. The match ended 1-1 in regulation time and had to be decided by a penalty shootout, which Chiefs won 4-3. Now, Chiefs supporters actually burst into the stadium in celebration before police could disperse them, while players had to be forced to run into the tunnels for their safety. The club pleaded guilty as charged and was fined 200,000 rands, which half is suspended for 24 months. There is some DStv Premiership action this evening at 7:30 p.m. Maritzburg United will play against SuperSport United. And in motorsport, there was a Formula 1 there when it comes to first practice at the Italian Grand Prix. And I can tell you that it was Charles Leclerc who was fastest there, followed by Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, as well as Yuki Tsunoda. They made the top 8. In the name of the game, right here on the Glenzito Super Drive, I am Lelo Mzaca.
Do you need money urgently? Get a loan from us, but only if you visit our website and give us all your info. Then we say we'll call you, but we'll text you instead. Anyway, you'll have to fax your info again, and then you can have your loan, but only after 48 hours.
That's not simple. In 15 minutes, you could secure a direct access loan of up to 200,000 Rand, no matter who you bank with. Because everything happens online, there's no waiting, no wasted time. Simple loans, better service. Visit directaccess.coza. Terms and conditions apply. Direct Access is a business unit of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
The much-anticipated All Sport Expo in partnership with SABC Sport will be held at the Cape Town International Convention Centre from Friday 9th to Sunday 11 September 2022. This all-inclusive consumer sport exhibition features outdoor, indoor and water sport and promises to be a fun-filled and informative experience for the whole family. Visitors to the All Sport Expo are in for a truly extraordinary experience, encompassing many aspects of sport and wellness, from health, nutrition, medical and wellness products to support equipment, activewear and cutting-edge technology, all under one roof. Look out for the SABC Sports Stand. Partake in fun sporting activities and stand a chance to win exciting prizes. Tune in to Metro FM. Catch the glittering Premier League viewing experience between Liverpool and Wolves at the All Sport Expo on Saturday, 10 September at 3 p.m. Book your tickets now at Quicket or visit allsport.cticc.co.za for more information. Brought to you by All Sport Expo in partnership with SABC Sport.
All the hits, all day, all night. Feel good music, Radio 2000. The Glenzito Super Drive, Mondays to Fridays on Radio 2000. 2000.
blasting out of Radio 2000 is the station. We are here until 6 p.m. And if you landed, good to have you on the show. We've got Fashionable Fridays coming up after our break. Yes, our guest is Palesa Mokubung. Palesa is the founder and creative director of Mzaca. So the whole South Africa, especially people in the Free State, Mamelang Sialemoya, Lutronganaluna, Hore Mosialemoyeng. Let's take a break, we'll be right back.
Feel one with the drive in the Mazda CX-5 2-liter active manual from only $5,799 per month over 72 months with a 10% deposit, linked interest at 7.97%. Total cost $616,858. Balloon payment $200,200. T's and C's apply. Finance subject to credit approval. Mazda Finance is a product of Westbank, a division of Westbank Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
When it becomes hot, Mzaca, the DStv Premiership action becomes hotter. AmaZulu FC's intentions are vivid that in the beautiful game, you don't win once in a while to enjoy soft life in the top half. You win regularly. Meanwhile, Chippa United believe their strategy is too good for Usuthu to trouble them. KZN is up against Eastern Cape. Usuthu versus the Chili Boys. This is Ipola Letu. Catch the DStv Premiership clash between AmaZulu and Chippa United. Live on Saturday, 10 September, live at 3 p.m. on SABC1 and your favorite SABC radio station. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
Moy River, we've got you covered on 98.7 FM. Feel good music.
So there you go. The Free State Fashion Week is returning for the 2022 edition. The event took a 2-year break due to the COVID-19 global pandemic. And the fashion and lifestyle showcase will take place in Bloemfontein from the 28th of September to October the 1st. So we are joined in the studio by one of the designers who will be showcasing. Palesa Mokubung is a founder of fashion brand Mzaca or Manchu. It's called Bloemfontein Unpredictable. Mzaca, and the first African designer to collaborate with international retailer H&M. She's in the studio dressed in black. Shade it's a black, the nail black one. The only thing it's the sneaker.
It's clean.
Sneaker.
Clean.
I love your pants.
Unisex.
I love those pants.
Unisex.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. You could rock these.
Easy.
Yeah. They do really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you good?
Yeah, I'm okay. You?
No, man.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
You're incredible, Glen. You're incredible. It's so nice to be here. It's an honor for me.
Yeah, it's an honor to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Thank you for
having me. Have we ever met? You never know. So
I don't think we have. That's just why I'm like...
You're busy in the studio.
Hey, man, this is quite monumental.
Yeah?
No. I don't think we've met.
Yeah. I don't think so. So I understand that this year's theme at the Free State Fashion Week is Be Human,
Yeah.
I mean, how have you chosen to interpret this theme?
I think we've been forced to be human in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But I'm showcasing a collection called Signature.
Okay.
And this will... It takes a form of... Well, it's an expression of identification.
Yeah.
Of our excellence, craftsmanship, uniqueness. And I think those are things that we strive for as human beings. Just as human beings. Just to be better at what we do. To settle in what we do, and settle in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just living my life through what I do, and I think that's human enough, for me. And agreeing to do the master classes is it's an extension of the topic for the event.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about hosting or holding that master class at Fashion Week alongside Gerard Johan Kutsia.
Yeah.
He was here in the studio last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was
That's
very
my
nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
So, what will be covered in the master class, and who will be in attendance? And I'm sure
everyone
who's going to come through, they're going to be excited.
Yeah, I've got people
question
sending me
after question. That I love it.
Yeah.
I also feel I haven't done that enough. you know?
Yeah.
Where you just stand there for 2 hours.
I can see you in that space.
And just talking to people and
I
people
can see you
asking
in
questions.
that space. So I think anyone from fashion students to fashion lovers, fashion stylists, writers, fashion writers. And my plan is to tell stories at this masterclass. So significant stories of, things that have happened in my life, how I dealt with a situation, with a certain situation, what I learned from it, how I got into it, how I ended up, and just break it into 10 interesting stories, so that after the masterclass, someone can say, that story about social media, like I learned about social media a couple of years ago. I'm not as far ahead as my competitors are, but that's because I was busy crafting, man. I was busy building. I was busy building. So
you were building something solid.
I was building something very solid. And I needed to do it without the noise. And when I did get onto social media, it's because I actually had a product and I had something to offer.
Absolutely.
But that was a journey. I remember a moment when I said, okay, I understand now the importance of it, and I want to share what that is like, because a lot of us in the fashion industry, a lot of people are still not on social media. A lot.
No, that's true.
And people who are in our industry can really use it. It's our own magazines, our own platform to tell our own stories and our own voices and at our own time, on our own terms. So I'm going to go into little nuggets like that and talk about how to care for your clients and but in storytelling form. So very short stories, 10 significant stories that have kind of shaped my journey and my career.
Excellent. So I understand you grew up in Kroonstad in the Free State. I know David Gau is also from there.
Just down the road from me.
Yeah. So how did your upbringing influence the key elements that make up the Mansu brand?
So
and also,
I grew up.
How do you even break it down to your parents? Because I talk about it all the time. Like our parents, they see a lawyer, an accountant, what? DJing, acting, fashion designer. It's like people frown upon those, right? Yeah, because they don't understand. Yes,
especially back then. So I'm lucky in that my father is a creative and my mom is an intellectual. So she taught my brother and I. We were taught to express ourselves, my brother and I. I have a sibling. He's a graphic designer. He does all of our graphics at Mansu. And we were taught to express ourselves. So on birthdays and Mother's Day, special holidays, we were forced to create something, perform something, write something, something, perform, do something, create something. You don't have to buy anything for us, but just be creative and put together something that expresses what you would wish to say to us. That's one. And then how my upbringing influenced me is that my grandmother worked at a CMT.
Yes.
So, and I grew up with my boy cousins. I was the only girl.
What's a CMT?
CMT, it stands for cut, make, and trim. It's basically a term for people who work at a factory, so at a clothing factory. Yeah. So, I was the only girl, so she would make clothes for me all the time. So I grew up quite comfortable with the idea of getting clothes made for me. That's one. And then secondly, designer clothes. Bespoke, Baba, bespoke.
Wow.
And then my mother got into buying clothes from boutique. She got into that quite early, which, is quite unheard of. Back then, she was not making a lot of money, but she would buy such quality clothes, for her and I. I'm the only girl, so 1, 2. So she would buy these high-end clothes for me that I did not think were cute anyway. But I wore them and they lasted forever.
Yes.
And I think that taught me a lot about quality, taught me a lot about style, a lot about uniqueness, and just made me comfortable in that space of manufacturing, of taking an idea from, I would go to bed with no skirt. I wake up and there's a skirt on my bed, the skirt in the lounge waiting, because my grandmother made it. And I've always loved the idea of, creating something out of nothing.
And how old were you then? I mean, do you still remember?
I was under 10. I was under 10, yeah.
And I mean, do you, obviously, kids at that age are not materialistic.
No.
They're not fashion savvy. Because I was going to ask you, how did people respond, with your unique
some
clothes?
Outfits were quite a hit and some were just all around weird. But the ones that were hit, I made up for the ones that were not so cool. But I was quite comfortable with that. I was quite comfortable with that. I think this has always been a space for me. Besides the fact that my brother's 3 years older than me, and I've always. He was my role model, and he would create stuff just out of he likes to paint.
Mr. Magic.
Yes.
Mr. Magic.
So I've always admired that quality in him, but I didn't know that it would be fashion for me. I just knew that I have the same, quality, talent.
Yeah, it's the Glenzito Super Drive. It's Radio 2000. What time is it? Oh, okay, we still have 7 minutes. We'll talk until 4 o'clock. Don't worry. So we're chatting to Palesa Mokubung. She's founder and creative director of Mansu, right here on Fashionable Fridays. It's that kind of interview that you don't want it to end. Now let's talk about Stone Cherry, which was run by my good friend Kensani. So you're a top designer there.
I was actually a junior designer, guys. I was the youngest of the team. I had 2 other designers who were seniors, but I think I was the hungriest. I was definitely the hungriest, yes.
Yeah, you see, age has nothing to do with it. Then chances are you were more creative.
Yeah, no, I was...
Even better than those who were older than you and more passionate.
Definitely, because I left before them. And I went on to do great things, and I'm still in contact with them. They are still in that space, but we're not doing it the same way.
So let's talk about education. I understand you decided to take an academic sabbatical.
I had to, Glen.
From 2011 to 2013 and went back to school to get your bachelor's degree in fashion design. How did this change the outlook for you? I mean, really, going to school,
Glen.
It's not an easy thing.
I went to school when I was 30, so my classmates were 17-year-olds, 18 and 19. They were never loafer all the time. At some point, I was the only person in the class at some point. But I had to do it because I knew when I was 10 years old that I was a creative. That's always come easy for me. And I don't think I took it to heart or to mind or, thought it was special enough until I started working in the industry and working for a while in the industry and kind of hitting the ceiling.
Yes.
Quite early in my life, in my 20s, I already knew what I wanted to do. I went to fashion school and I walked out of class. I walked out of class in my first year and I went to look for a job as a salesperson. That's when I met Kenzie. And I never went back to school. And then I worked in the industry. So it was very easy for me in the earlier days. And then I hit a ceiling. And I knew that this is what, even though I had hit ceiling or rock bottom, so to speak, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I love being at the bottom because I had everything to gain. So I started from scratch and I built my brand from scratch. And I went to school from scratch. I went full-time. I studied full-time. And I got my BA degree in fashion design, and I learned a lot about business. I knew the creative side. And even then I was still open-minded, about a lot of techniques. I did not know I was so interested in textile until I didn't even know textile was a subject. I didn't know textile was a subject. I hadn't been in school in over 10 years. So I learned a lot about business, though. I paid a lot of attention when it came to, just business modules. And then I built my business from dress to dress again. So the success that I have now, that the brand has now, is the success that came after education. So I know what it's like to be a self-taught designer and to be a designer that has education. And I'm telling you that you need it. It is the greatest gift you can ever give to yourself.
Makes a huge difference. Yeah. So the brand is 17 years old.
Yeah. I mean, if you take that, if you half that, 8 of those years or 7 of those years, Benglala, or 8 or 9, Benglala, because I was it just came so easy for me, and opportunities also came easy. And then it was not the same as it is now. Now there are a lot of designers.
Of course.
A lot. Back then it was a handful,
Yeah.
you know, of us. Black, young, female, not even, you know. There were a lot of white designers back then. And so I played. A lot of opportunities just came to me. I took them. I built a brand. I built a following. I had some kind of a cult, you know, following, people who were, you know, diehard fans. But I did not have the right mindset, the right education, the right, you know, foresight, and just, the right vision, I guess. So the 8 years now that you're seeing is everything. That was just foundation.
So tell me this. Let's talk about the developments of the South African fashion industry, you know, from when you started till now.
Just how it's been?
Yeah.
It's been strange. You know, back then we didn't have social media. I say back then,
And you're so young.
I'm so young. I say back then because I was really challenged, you know, as a young creative. I had all this energy, all this passion, and I really did not have the platforms. Right now, I don't need anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've got a team, but we don't need to do shows. We do them because we want them. We want to do them. We do them because we value the platform. We do them because we want to inspire, but we can afford to take a break from showcasing, because you can showcase in your own studio with your own cameras.
Absolutely.
At your own time, with you as the lead person.
Steering.
So if I do a show at like Free State Fashion Week, I do it because it means a lot to me, and I feel like I'm going to add value to it, and so it was very different. Right now, people can tell their own stories. Back then, I couldn't. I needed to supply a store. Now I don't have a store. I don't supply a store. I sell from my own store. And I've got a warehouse where I have my store, my production area, my showroom, my office, it's the headquarters. I do everything from there. I also feed my online store from there. And those are my two main channels. And then recently we've just launched an international online store. And we've just also launched a platform where you can buy now and pay later, all from this mind.
So
and
quickly,
my small team.
Before we go to the news, so give us your social media.
So you can find me at Palesa Mokubung across the board. So and that easy. I will be loading some info regarding Free State Fashion Week.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to going there and seeing what talent is going to come out of there. I'm very passionate. I love my hometown.
Absolutely fantastic, Palesa. What a pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
Naledi ya Freestata, naledi ya Afrika Borwa, naledi ya Lefatshe, Palesa Mokubung, founder and creative director of Mansu. Radio 2000 is a Friday, yo. It is 4 p.m.
SABC News. Independent and impartial.